one of the things that was traditional for a Deipnon is that it was started with a ceremonial cup of wine that was mixed with water. And it was then dedicated to the god, or one of the gods, that the meal was to, right? That the meal was being celebrated to. You would take this cup of wine and you would mix it with water, and you would then offer it to the god that was being honored at the meal, okay? And then you would have the supper formal, that is the actual food.
And if there was meat at the table, that meat would have already been offered to the same deities,
same god,
or the same pantheon.
So then you eat the meal proper, and then what happens? Another cup is drank. This one, usually without being mixed with water, was drank and offered to the god again, right? And usually there was something that ended right. So the food was eaten, then a second cup of wine, and there was multiple cups of wine, but ultimately this second cup of wine was a bookend. So there was a cup of wine at the beginning of the meal proper, and a cup of wine at the end of the meal proper, and then they would go into a different area of the Deipnon. And usually it was like a philosophical treatise by a philosopher or something, and then there would be debate. Okay? And we see this in John, right? Yeshua stands up, and then he gives his sermon, which is chapters long, after the Deipnon, right? And then what happens? They sing some psalms, and then they go out. Okay, so the two cups are very important. Let's read Luke 22 here. It says, now this is assumedly before the meal. He says, and he said to them, I have eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say to you, I shall not eat it again until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God. We're going to come back to these two verses in a little bit as well. Verse 17, and when he had taken a cup and given thanks, he said, take this and share it among yourselves. By the way, this is another tradition of the Deipnon. That cup that was offered to the god was shared among the entire table. For I say to you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine from now on until the kingdom of God comes. Fruit of the vine is an important phrase here as well because it shows ceremonial aspect. Christ does drink wine on the cross, so it can't just mean wine. It has to mean something else, which means he's talking about the ceremonial aspect of this cup. So he says, take this and share it among yourselves. For I say to you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine from now on until the kingdom of God comes. Okay, now, 19. And when he had taken some bread and given thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Okay, now, most people stop there. Most people stop there. But 20 is just as important. And in the same way, he took the cup after they had eaten, saying, this cup which is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood. So what has he done? He's taken the cup beforehand, and now he's taken the cup afterwards. You have bookends of this meal proper. He just said, I have earnestly desired to eat this Pascha with you. He has now bookend the meal proper, and now he says that this cup and the ceremonial aspects of what is happening here represent the covenant. Why? Why does it represent the covenant? The answer is because the new covenant is when we come to Christ and we come out of bondage from the darkness of sin. We come through the waters and out the other side, and now we are free. We have come into a new covenant, and that can only happen what? With Christ. And therefore, the aspect of the Passover, which used to look at the Exodus from Egypt, now points to the new Exodus. And that Exodus is the death of Christ on the cross. And it is represented in this meal. And the ceremonial aspects are there because of the cup that bookends the meal proper. And the bread that is broken represents the actual meal. That's what's going on. And this is what we see in the Passover. Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.